Hi everyone, I'm Howard and this is Otter's Corner. Today we're going to talk about a subject that's been coming up a lot recently as we've looked at Social Security and legislation has come up about Social Security, and that is the taxation of Social Security. Income taxes on your Social Security retirement benefits. Do you have to pay it? Is it really a tax? Does it really happen? Yes, it does. Since 1984, Social Security benefits have been subject to taxation. And at that time, it was up to 50% of your benefit was taxable. In 1994, a new law that was enacted the prior year changed that to say either 50% or 85% of your benefit may be taxable. So is this fair? You hear a lot of people, and I read a lot of comments on YouTube where people saying this is unfair, it's double taxation, we pay tax before we contributed the money from our payroll taxes. And yes, that it is in a sense double taxation, but only partially. So if you're subject to 50% tax, 50% of your benefit being taxed, the way you should really be looking at it is you contributed half of the money Social Security has for your benefit, and your employer contributed the other half. You pay taxes on the half you contributed. You did not pay taxes on the half your employer contributed. So if you're subject to that 50% taxation, you are now paying taxes on the 50% your employer contributed. However, if you're subject to taxation on 85% of your benefit, then yes, you're being taxed doubly on 35% of your benefit. So is it fair? There's other instances of double taxation in our system. For instance, if you own stock in a company and they pay you a dividend, they pay taxes on their earnings before they distributed them to you, and now you're paying taxes on that distribution. That's double taxation. So it happens. Is it fair? Probably not, but hell, what you going to do about it? So there's as I said, there's the possibility you'll pay tax on about half of it or on 85% of it. For about 50% of people right now, they're paying taxes. The other 50% don't pay any taxes at all on their benefits. And if you only receive, your only income you receive is from Social Security, you're not going to pay taxes on those benefits. This is not something new. Again, this started in 84, changed in 94. It's been going on for almost 40 years now. I read a lot of comments as, what's with this taxation? Because they're just hearing about it now. It's mostly people who haven't paid taxes and won't pay taxes. So, if you haven't been paying taxes on it, nothing's changed. The calculations are the same. They're a little complicated, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And here are the hurdles. If you're filing singly for your taxes, the income hurdle is $25,000. Now, when I say $25,000, that's your income plus non-taxable interest that you've received plus half of your Social Security benefit. You add all those up. There's some minor little calculations in there also. I'm not going to get into great detail on those now. This isn't tax advice. But if your income is less than $25,000 for a single and less than $32,000 if you're filing jointly, you won't pay any taxes on your benefit. Now, if you receive up to $34,000 in income for a single and $44,000 in income, let me rephrase that, between $25,000 and $34,000 in income for single, and between $32,000 and $41,000 for a joint tax return, you'll pay taxes on 50% of your income. So if you're over $34,000 income for a single and over $44,000, couldn't read my own writing, $44,000 filing jointly, you're going to pay on 85%. So what's that mean in real dollars? And what I hear a lot of times is, I have to pay 50% of my Social Security benefit back because it's taxable, or I have to pay 85% of it back. That's not how it's calculated. Here's some very simple explanations. So if your Social Security benefit, let's just assume right now you're getting $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year, and 50% of it is taxable. You don't pay $12,000 in taxes. You pay on $12,000 of your benefit. So if you're in the 10% tax bracket, and if 50% of it is taxable, your tax on your benefit is $1,200 or 5% of your total benefit. Now, let's say you're getting $3,000 a year and you're in that higher 85% taxable Social Security benefit. Let's say for assumption here that you're in the 22% tax bracket. It could be higher, it could be lower. You would pay $6,732 of your benefit in income taxes back to Social Security, or about 18.7% of your total benefit. Now, overall, the Social Security Administration receives 4% of benefits approximately back from those income taxes. And now let's talk about why there are taxes on benefits, or the result of why there are taxes on benefits. And there's two things going on here. Number one, it's a return of money back to the Social Security Administration. So normally when you pay income taxes, they all go to the federal government and get put in the general fund. When you're paying part of your income taxes as taxes on your Social Security benefit, that portion of it alone goes back to the Social Security Administration. It goes back into the trust fund, and it makes that trust fund last a little longer. Last year, there were about $49 billion in income taxes paid on Social Security benefits. So again, about 4% of the total benefits that they paid out came back. So it does help the trust fund a little bit, makes it last a little longer. The other reason it's done is means testing. And you hear a lot of comments all the time about why do the wealthy or why do the upper middle class get Social Security benefits? They don't need it. They shouldn't get it. Well, number one, that would be unfair. But number two, this is the government and the Social Security Administration saying, hey, if you do make a lot of money, we're going to means test you. And if you have higher means of support in your retirement, you're going to get a little bit of a lower benefit, and that's the taxation hitting you. So it's a means testing. And there's a lot of talk about doing other means testing. If your income's at a certain level, or if your net worth is a certain level, you shouldn't get Social Security benefits. This is what you're looking at, is means testing. There's been other suggestions for mean testing. They haven't gone very far, and I doubt they will, other than maybe changing the taxation to a higher percentage. Let's hope not, but that could happen. Now, the other thing I want to mention is, as we've been hearing a lot of politicians making suggestions or actually sending bills to the House or Senate about changes to Social Security so that the trust fund will last longer. One of the suggestions, and this is coming from two congressmen, Daniel Webster and Thomas Massey, both Republicans. They've written legislation, and it's in a bill. It probably won't get voted on, but it could, because again, they are Republicans, and Republicans hold the majority in the House, so it may see a vote. But their suggestion is an elimination of the tax. So it's the legislation is called legislation to cancel income tax on Social Security. That's their proposal. That's their bill. Now, the reason, in my opinion, this is a really bad idea is that the people it helps are the higher earners. The higher your income, the higher your tax you're going to pay, the more likely this is going to help you. So the approximately 50% of people who don't pay taxes on Social Security, the poor, the needy, this is no benefit to them. This doesn't do anything for them. And it helps drain the trust fund, because those taxes, that 4% or that $49 billion we saw last year, not going back. So who's it helping? It's helping the wealthy, certainly. It'll help some middle class people, certainly. But overall, is it a good idea? No. Hurts the trust fund, and it doesn't help the poor, the people who need it the most. So this is just a little bit of a review of taxation. Don't do anything based upon what I'm telling you here. See a tax professional. If you're using TurboTax or something like that, they'll also figure this out for you. Get the information you need, understand what's taxable and what isn't, and make the best decisions based upon that. And again, please subscribe, right down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share this. Comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want to hear, tell me what I'm right about or wrong about. Let me hear from you. Thanks, and I'll see you later.